Hey everybody, I'm JimClassic, and you are watching Geekin', and for today's video, I feel like talking about some Power Rangers, if you haven't figured that out already. What I like to talk about is the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, toy line. I had to look this up. Apparently, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Retro VHS Collection. And it was a Walmart exclusive. Retail at $16.99. I got this, and most of what you see back there, at my local Ollie's for $3.99. Now, for those of you out there who don't know what an Ollie's is a retail outlet where unwanted things go to die. I have not opened this. I have not opened any of them yet. I can probably guarantee you there is nothing in here that is going to be worth $16.99. I have a feeling what I purchased might not even be worth $3.99. But, you know, I saw these at my local Ollie's. I was like, cool, I like Megazord. Oh, okay. I like Dragon Zord in battle mode. Oh, okay. I like the Thunder Megazord, and so on and so forth. So for $3.99, I'm not going to argue. I'm just going to buy it, and I'm going to talk about it. Now, I also have a couple of Super 7 figures that I bought, and I do mean only a couple. So we have the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Goldar by Super 7, and I got that at my local Walmart for $10, because, again, I wasn't going to pay $20 for this. I probably shouldn't have paid $10 for this, but $10 is better than $20. And I also picked up the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Super 7 Pink Ranger, because these were the only two that were there. And so, let's just talk about some of these figures. Let's open them up. Let's see what they're all about. I am going to talk about Power Rangers toys. However, I can't talk about all my Power Rangers figures that I have recently picked up. Talking about the packages real quick, a lot of them are pretty much the same format. You got the Megazord right there, you got Rita Repulsa, you got Power Rangers, Dragon Zord Battle Mode and Rita Repulsa, Thunder Dragon Zord and Lord Zed, White Tiger Zord and Lord Zed, Mega Tiger Zord and Lord Zed, and the Power Rangers logo at the bottom. Green Ranger is slightly different because you actually have a product shot of the toy with joints and all. Mighty Morphin Green Ranger, no Lord Zed or Rita Repulsa, Power Rangers logo up at the top. 30 years of Power Rangers because they're celebrating it with this. And on the back is just another product shot of the Green Ranger and his weapons. Now that we've gotten the package out of the way, once we get the figure pulled out, we see the toy mummified in tissue paper, and that the cardboard insert resembles that of an old VHS tape, with the Zord doodled on the label. It's kind of cutesy, and I thought it was pretty neat, but then I unwrapped the figures. The painting and sculpting on each toy is average to low effort. Most of the paint applications you're going to find on the front of each toy. There are some on the back, but in cases it's virtually nothing. Pretty much all 5 of these figures are relatively the same, at least in regards to articulation. Each figure has a simple head swivel, rotating shoulders, arms can move out, rotating wrists, no waist swivel, and the legs can barely wobble. Most are just hindered by the hip skirts. No knees and no ankle pivots. The Green Ranger is part of the VHS Retro Collection, however, the articulation is a little better. Maybe not to the same level as a Lightning Collection figure, but it is improved over the Zords. The figure itself is fine, however his weapons are just unpainted white plastic, and he comes with a power coin with a sticker of the dragon crest. Cheap. I'm glad I kept my expectations low for this bunch. I had a rough idea what I might be getting into, and it seems my hunch was right. These particular toys were definitely meant for kids, and that's fine. Kids should always be the #1 deciding factor when it comes to making toys. If adults happen to like them, that should just be a bonus. But kids should have the first pick of toys. Play is important to kids. You know, it helps develop their minds. That whole sandbox role-playing thing of like your favorite characters, you know, and toys are kind of essential tools for that. So, you know, I get it. As an adult collector, I love collecting, you know, my figures, but kids should always be the number one priority. And this set, this retro VHS set, was definitely meant for kids. Or at least I think that's what it was turned into.
What I find so anomalous about these figures is that they're supposed to be VHS retro figures, which implies they're intended for adult collectors. Yet, the figures are so simple in both articulation and sculpting, they're obviously for younger kids instead.
Seriously, how many children today even know what a VHS tape is? I bet you're not going to find a lot. Who was this even for? If an adult collector bought them, they'd likely be disappointed because these toys are really not up to the standards that an adult collector is used to. And if a child were to have or buy or be given this toy, yeah, they'd likely like the toy, but they probably wouldn't really understand the VHS references in the inserts. So, again, who is this for? These VHS retro figures are kind of weird. They just feel out of place. They feel like they don't know where they belong, or Hasbro didn't know where to put them. And I'll tell you this much, they're definitely not worth $16.99. I'm glad I got them on the cheap. However, if you are able to find these toys cheap at a discount outlet, it's worth it if you're buying for a little kid. Moving on to Super 7 Power Rangers. On one hand, I wish I'd found more of them. And on the other hand, these Super 7 reaction figures are so stupidly expensive. I suppose most of the pricing is going towards the licensing fees. I got these two for $10 each on sale at my local Walmart. Both Pink Ranger and Goldar are 5-point figures, swiveling heads, rotating shoulders, and hips. The Pink Ranger is fine, her sculpting is simple, but it works, and her accessories are bow and 2 blasters, one configured in the gun mode, and the other in dagger mode. No weapon storage aside from her 2 hands, but she has 3 accessories. Goldar was a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. Goldar only comes with 1 sword, but the wings articulated, which was kind of a cool feature.
Watch out for the shoulder armor popping off if you move the arm too much. It doesn't work with the sculpt.
These reaction figures are more or less supposed to herald back to the 80s toys. More specifically, the old Kenner Star Wars toys, which were basic 5P figures and a simple sculpt. Goldar's sculpt, however, is above that of the average reaction figure. Still not worth $17 in my opinion, but it is a better sculpt. I love the idea of Super 7 reaction figures, but I wish I could buy them for a more reasonable price. And that has been my look at the Power Rangers VHS Retro Collection. They were too expensive for what they really were, possibly marketed for adults, clearly made for kids, and just get them cheap if you find them. That's it. If you're going to buy them cheap. Don't spend $16.99 on these things. Also, a very small look on a micro scale here of the Super 7 Power Rangers reaction figures. They are fun, they are niche, and they represent a bygone era of toys that I haven't really seen much of since I was a kid. And yes, it's fun, but they are also way too expensive for what they are. And that's all I gotta say about that, really. In hindsight, I probably should have just done a review of this guy. But, oh well. I'm JimClassic. You have been watching Geekin, and I will see you later. Take care, everybody.